Good morning, everyone, and here we are once again. And I know it's been a little while, but hey, good morning, Bookus. How you doing? Yeah, so the idea this morning, I've been playing around with some global avatars, and you can now create a global account and create your avatar. There's a little bug. There's a few bugs in the flow, so I'm going to kind of, doing pretty good though, and I'm going to be working through it a few times, seeing what we can do, and seeing if I can fix some of the bugs in the flow. Right now, you can't do anonymous avatars on the site, but you definitely can get in on here. So there's the link to get to the site that I'm on right now. And when you go there, here's the deal. Okay, let me log out. Okay, so first thing you get is this login menu. Create a login. Go ahead and create a global login if you're going to try this out. Kind of working on that level right now. You can always, I'm keeping it where you can have a local login just for that server that you're on, or you can do a global, and that's the one I'm setting up to work on all sites. So yeah, it'd be pretty cool by the time we get it done and in place. But basically, if I go here, I can do a login. Oops. And once you're logged in, first thing you do is you get a choice of your different avatars. So if you've created more than one, I have some local avatars, and then I have a global avatar. So if I choose my global avatar, it should load up if everything goes right. See if I didn't break something very recently. Don't worry about where the camera is showing as we do this. My next thing I'm going to be working on is the cameras. What happens is the avatar comes in, I hook the camera up to, well, I fire up the camera, and I'm not really anchoring it anywhere. And then I put the avatar into place, and then I tell the camera to attach to the avatar. But I need to kind of have an interim place where the camera does sit and load up. Okay, so we already have a flaw here because it's not loading, and it should have. Okay, I already broke it. Time to go check it out. Let's see what I broke. See if we can't get this going. I knew I was close. That's why I decided to start streaming. Figured I'll check it out, make sure that we got everything the way it should be. Let me see. I changed some stuff to be able to come back from a reload after you do the edit your avatar. And I think because I did that, I basically broke it. So let me see what happens when if I go here. I'm going to bring up my select list. When I click on one, I'm going to kind of follow the code. So when I click on this guy right here, I'm basically telling it, select my avatar. And I do have the avatar identified there. Oh, I know why. Oh, I know already why it's doing that. Let's go to scripts and avatars, load avatar. In this one right here, I'm telling it to do this, but then I tell it right about, let's see, we get the global avatar, and no, I'm not telling it there. Where did I tell it? So get saved avatar should have worked. Think about where it's coming in before that. Was it the coming? Watch this. I can find it just by spotting it here. No, I've already passed it. It is right there. Okay, we have the list of avatars, and this is the code that tells it select the avatar. When it tells it to select, if global avatars is not the global avatar, and oh, see, that's the part I messed up on. One more thing I need to do is if, well, var oh wait, I do have it. Or Actually, that's not the case. My avatar is not null. Equals undefined. Let me try that one. That would mean it's a camera and not there, so let me set that up there. I'm going to figure this one out real quick. Scripts, or let's see, go to scripts folder, scripts, and that was the prime folder. Load that up there, refresh the page. Have to make sure we can get the first thing going here. So let me log out. I know, it was just trying to load while I was unloading. So Bookish, you should be able to go in to global login and actually create a login. And then work on your avatar, and I'll walk through that in just a second. I'll show you some of that stuff. For now, let's see. Yes, accept. I'm in. Haha. Yeah, okay, cool. Very cool. And what I'm doing right now is I got to fix this little thing here. Let's see if it creates my avatar or if it... Yeah, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. The avatar creation phase. Yeah. You know, before I had a lot of this code and functionality built right into the browser and everything else. Well, by doing it this way, I don't have to load it all the time. So every time you're just browsing and walking around scene, you don't have to load every bit of that code. So there you are. Now I'm walking around and you're here too. Awesome. Cool. Hey, I like the shoes. Very cool. Red hair, blue shirt. I love it. See? Custom. I love it. Some of the animations aren't ideal yet. I've got to go through the different animations afterwards. But for now, it is... it does let you set them and everything else. And it's letting you set your colors, as you can see. So we definitely are off and running. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. I like seeing people with different colored shirts and custom avatars here. Now, the one thing I was also working on is if I tell it that I want to edit my own avatar, then I pop back up into the scene and it loads it back up into this editor. You know, like I said, the real cool part is, hey, Kadish, how you doing? So yeah, the cool part about this is that it does not load this code unless you need it. So then the browsing function, when you're just walking around in a scene, doesn't have the overhead of all these files that let you manipulate and change your avatar. So now we just open it into a window at the time we need it, and then when we cancel it, we close out of there and it destroys it. But this is actually a fully functioning, working environment. If I hold my mouse button down, I can move around and check out the avatar from all different angles. I can go to, for example, color. I can click on the shirt and I can just change the color just by clicking anywhere I want. I can move around the shades. So we have a lot of available colors and possibilities. You know, whatever shade you want to go, it's all good. But you can see it right then and there. You can also type in HTML colors. And it'll automatically update it accordingly. Let me do it on something like the shirt, just so you can see. Oh, by the way, white or FFFFFF is use the original graphic with no shading. Otherwise, it combines the shading with the stuff. You can click here to select what object you want to do, or you can click on the actual avatar. Either one will select the item for you, and then all you have to do is type in whatever color code you want it to be. Like I said, if you go to, and you can do 3 or 6 digit codes. If I go to, for example, FFF, it's going to show, whoops, I went to, okay, I'll go to 6. It's going to prove me wrong. There we go. It's the original color that comes with it. And so I can also come in here and let's see, whatever color you want to do. When you move away from it, it sets the color. So you can either hit enter or you can select something else and it'll do the color. And it also moves it up here so that you can adjust it from there. Okay, so, hey, I'm going to be, let's go to some weird color here for now. Yeah, let's be orange today just because we can. And now that I pick whatever I want, and by the way, you can also do the skin of the person, so you can be whatever color you feel like being. You do not have to be natural colors. We can be aliens. It's all good. So whatever color you want to go with. Good enough. Don't want it to clash with the orange shirt, right? And then the animations. Now this is one step that I noticed already that I kind of want to doctor a little bit more. When you click on one of them, it'll turn on that animation so you can see what it looks like. If you click it again, it'll stop. You can also, like walk backwards. You can check your different animations. When you want to edit them, if you click edit, then it'll let you pick which one you want to edit. So if I want to edit, for example, my run, then you can pick whichever one you want it to do. Same thing goes here. You can turn them off and on just by clicking on these. Once they start, when you're editing, they tend to run until you basically save it. I need to change that button from edit to save. That'll make it a little bit smoother. So there's a little bit of button flow here that I need to fix. But hey, we got happy run. I kind of like the casual run, so I'm gonna go with something like that. We have medium run, long distance stride. Okay. Long distance run. Running scared. There we go. No. Goofy run. I need to make this in a scroll bar too, so that if we end up with more than fits on this screen, it still will stop. Say it's got a fast run. Here's the default. I kind of like the casual. It's got a real good pace to them and everything else. And when you go back to edit, it goes back to this screen now. Of course, anytime you use it, it does that. So as you can tell, I did a little bit of coding here. Now the optional gestures, that's not implemented just yet. We'll get to those. I kind of want to have a different way of doing those so you can add additional animations and it'll kind of build your tree of different ones that you want to load. But yeah, we'll do some with that because you may still need in-game switching and adding additional animations that you didn't have before. So I don't know. I got to think about that one and just decide what we want to do. What would you guys do? In-game, be able to add and remove them as you go so that if it comes up on a theme and you say, oh, I need an animation that does this, you could go look for it if you didn't have it loaded? Or do you want to pop back into here to load and just say, these are my presets? I mean, we could still have both. Presets and then last minute you can just click on some to run them. We could have them available. I'll have to think about a way to implement that. Because when you click them that way, I have to load them to your avatar, so it takes a couple seconds. It's not too bad, though. They're not big files, so I don't know. We'll just have to think about how we want to do that. But overall, like I said, what I need is, for this right now, if you click edit, then you can select on one and you can tell it which one you want to edit. Otherwise, if you click on them, you're telling it you want to show it. So like right now, look backwards and walk. It tells you which one looking back is the one that's selected. When I click edit, now I have to click it again. That's something I'm going to fix. So like if you are looking at one of them, if you're walking backwards and you click edit, I want to make it jump right to this screen. So there's a little bit of flow thing there I'm going to fix. But looking back, let's see, default male, let's just go backwards. His eyes bug out. I got to fix some of these animations for that. Ooh, that's kind of an interesting backwards. It doesn't go backwards at all. Oh, wait, it was loading. Some of them take longer to get started, I guess. I don't know. Happy walk backwards. Limp backwards. Ooh, that one isn't loading. Okay, we got one that's broken here. Let me take a note of that. I'll just make my note. Let's see, where am I going to put my notes? I have a page here. Where'd I put it?
Are you done?
Oh, got Trello board. That's where I want to put it. Sorry, I had it on the screen ready to go. Okay, so these are the things I've worked on. Let me add an item here. File's missing for limp backwards. That's why it gives an error. So I'll check that out later. Okay, and back to the scene. Let's go looking back. Now, see, once we broke it, we broke it. Dang it. Okay, so don't click limp backwards just yet. And we do have a chat working. That's a good sign. All you have to do is click on another user. For now, is it going to let me? Oh, it did let me close the window. Good. See, it broke the window in the thing, but it didn't break the window outside of it. So it's reloading my guy, which notice it's center screen. That's going to change. I'm not going to load over here. I'm going to load wherever the scene tells you to load. But it drops the camera there when my avatar isn't in the scene. So once my avatar jumps, he goes back into where he's supposed to be, and it's in here. So what I need to do is I need to make it works. Thumbs up. Thanks. Yeah, we're getting there. Thanks. Yeah. Jeez, my typing today. Or any day. But yeah, so we do have a chat. Oh, I see it. You're upstairs there. Nice, nice, nice. Very cool. Very cool. And there's a piece of glass there, so you can't walk outside until you actually go out the door. Some of the stairs things, it's a little tricky, but hey, we got them to work. Okay. And I go okay. So we got some flow things to work on. You know, a little bit of stuff here and there we got to do, but overall, there's a lot of stuff working, which is a good sign. There's a missing image right there that didn't load. Actually, it looks like the whole glass piece didn't load. Let me see what happens if I walk far enough back and tell it to reload. Okay, so that distance. See how they disappeared when I walk backwards? Now I can walk towards it, and let's see. Nope, see, those images are missing. Okay, I can check those images, but don't know why they're missing. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Throw it in Trello. Bugs. Might just be a path to an image or something. I'll just put it in the bug report so we know to check it. And we can check that sometime. Yeah, I'm spinning around pretty quick. By the way, you can also adjust your stuff, your speeds. There is movement speed. I have mine animation and walking turned up really fast, but I have the turn speed not all the way up because if I turn all the way up, watch this. If I go all the way up and then I tell it to turn, that's without the run. And now if I turn it on run, it doubles that. And it's really hard to like say which direction you want to go if it's that fast. For me. Some of you guys are more used to that. So if I bring it down a little bit, now my turn speed is a little slower. Kind of matches the animation. Try to tie up the two. And there we go. When you set those settings, it sets a cookie so that when you come back, it will run at the same speeds. So just a note. And there were two buttons there. One is the turn speed, the other one's the animation speed. So if you are looking at it and when you turn or whatever, if the movement that you turn or distance that you rotate or whatever, is it matching up and it doesn't look right with the animation, you can actually adjust those in the speed of the item. Helps out. Okay. Gonna do a jump. No, I haven't put it any. Well, there's gravity, so you will jump and it does fall, it does go down and stuff. But you really can't die because I haven't done any death moves or anything like that just yet. Eventually, we'll get some stuff like that in place, make it kind of realistic. In fact, as you can see in our little board here, we actually have some ragdoll functionality that we're looking at. Yeah, admin threw that in here. Really cool stuff here. But being able to apply the gravity to the joints separately so that when you fall, you actually rotate down and fall. So yeah, so we got some plans for some nice, cool dying moves and stuff. We got to keep on building stuff. Right now, I am going to pull... Oh, there's glass, so I didn't let you jump. Okay, yeah, that's right. I protected you from yourself. No. Okay, I'm going to jump to admin mode real quick. As quick as it goes. And I'm going to move that lodge right now. We'll keep it in the scene, but I'm going to move it farther away. I'm planning on building some stuff in the very, very near future and see if we can't build up a nice city street. That's kind of my goal. So I'm going to see what I can do about starting going in that direction. For now, I'm going to load up the community. Right now it's just called City Streets 3D Community, which is what shows up down at the bottom of the page here when I browse it. But this particular place, I'm going to move it. And let's see what direction here. Nope. I'm going to move it. You know what? I'm going to start by moving that to a positive. Watch it jump. Okay. Now my problem is I just told it to move out of where I'm loading it. I moved myself right out of the load zone. So as I get over here, whoops, where am I at? Oh, I'm facing the wrong way. There we go. So as I move my character over here, it will load. I gotta walk past that building too. We'll leave the lodge in here, but I'm gonna move it over closer to the mountains and stuff. So yeah, eventually I'll make some nicer mountains. But for now, let's go over here, and I'm gonna move it this way. He only walks when my mouse is over the screen, by the way. I could just type in a number and get it to move faster, but I'm fine. And coming over here. And once I get it a little bit closer to off the street, okay, and I'm going to rotate the building other direction. We're just going to put it back over here. If it passed through me, by the way, while I'm rotating, the collisions are turned off while I'm moving a building, so it won't actually have any problem with collisions. You can move right through something. So it's actually, it's not that collisions are off. Collisions are set to, or it's doing a movement without collisions. It's not trying to apply the collisions while moving. So that's why it doesn't quite, affect it while I'm doing that. Let me go walk around this way. I want to see how it looks from behind. See if we're a little bit of clearance. No, we didn't. I don't want to set it in the bush. Let's see. Okay, if I do that and move it back off here just a little bit. I don't want it to interrupt the building design. Okay, I got a little corner over there that's still catching it. Let's see, and there we go. Okay, now it's not in the mountain. I got to do some new hills, by the way. I will be doing that one of these days. But the idea is throwing this down here, getting it off to this side. I wanted it crooked. I didn't want to set it perfectly straight. I'm going to save the building where that's at. And by the way, at any time in admin mode, I can click this and I can leave my avatar and I can go look around and see what the scene looks like. Notice that things that aren't in the view of the avatar at the time won't load because it's only showing me what is currently loaded with my avatar. So there are items over here, but I'm out of range with them, just like the arcade was over here. It won't show you at a distance. I think that's some stuff I can do. Like if I rose up higher, what I could do is have it automatically load items that are, on the ground level. They're big items, so you can kind of see where everything's at. I'll play around with some of those settings and we'll see what we do. Of course, we have our Coliseum looking building back there. WalkTheWeb Club. Notice that even some things like this aren't loaded, but see if I click the button, it puts me back on my avatar. Now watch, when I'm walking over here, now it loads it. In the same way, I'm going to be loading the stuff that's over here. I think there's a tiki bar over here or something. Let's see, where is it? By the way, I am good. There it is. Okay, gave it a second to catch up. But it actually pulls these things off the internet as I'm walking and loads them as we go. I'm working on some ways to help the way they load. If you load too much in any one frame, it does cause it to get a little bit of a drag. But yet when you keep it going, if you load a little bit less per frame and do it through multiple frames, then you don't get the pause or lag at all. So that part there is actually being done. We're reading them in and using a loader that is Babylon loader. I think I'm going to take that as a blueprint, and as it puts the items in the scene, I'm going to make sure that they span, if it's a certain amount, it queues them up and then finishes it per frame so that not too much happens in any one frame. That will really help the loading times and also to avoid any lag all the time. So, some stuff I'm working on that'll make it a little bit better as we go. See, like right now, this actually is still not loaded because I've got a palm tree in here someplace. And right now I'm not seeing the palm tree. I know I got some sound turned on here. Let me mute it. I know this little guy up here on stage rocking out. I'm not seeing a palm tree. Palm tree did not load. Am I not close enough to it? No. Or does it have that much to catch up? Is it that big of a download? I'll have to check into that. Or did I move the palm tree out of the scene altogether? That's a possibility too. Yeah. Well, I have some safeguards in place so that if something doesn't load, it will actually retry and check some things. But like here, the building loaded, and we should start seeing some street lamps. There we go. And there's 3 street lamps, and they tend to come up as you get close to them. So they also disappear as you go farther away. That's kind of like showing you what's near. We have an arcade. We have a guy playing on the arcade. That's all good. Those things are working. Got a street bench here that shows up. Park bench. So, yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. There's some things I've done here, and there's some other things we're going to add to it. But just want to double check this. Let's see if I walk out of this region and then come back in. First of all, we should get our people up on the stage. Sometimes you got to let it catch up. I've considered putting a progress bar on the side of the screen to show you that it actually is browsing and that it's actually grabbing items and bringing them back and loading them and stuff. But, you know, hey, there's my coconut palm tree. Okay, what else do we need? We need some stuff in this city. First of all, we need to be able to play the games. I think that's a must. So there's also, when we walk over here, there's a tree over here someplace. There it is. See, some of those things load too slow, so I got to work on that. Yeah, I'm considering doing some preloading and stuff so that when there's dead time and you're not doing anything, it's already downloading the items so that they're ready to go when you need them. So we'll work on it. I really want to put some more buildings down in through there. I'll have to see what I can do. Okay. I think we also need something, since it is a multiplayer environment, I think it would be good if at some point on the screen or someplace, I need to show you that there's other people in the scene. So like if they're not near you at the moment, then you should be able to see how many people are currently logged onto the site you're on. Like I got this guy over here. I should be able to see how many people are in the scene. I think that would be kind of cool. Because I'm already counting them, so I already know how many people are in the scene. I just need to see, yeah. I just need to validate that. I need to check it. So we'll see what I can do. Yeah, it's a couple ideas. Okay, so let's go back to the editor. Let's play around. Let's see. Edit my avatar. Let's fix a couple things. So it loads it up. By the way, your admin, you can move the tools just by doing that. I might make it automatically do that when you open the avatar so it doesn't overlap itself, but that's only a condition under admin anyway, so most users will never see that. Okay, we have select avatar. You can actually scroll through, pick your avatars. I've created different avatar packs, and I now have them database driven. So with that, what's cool about that is it opens the door for doing more avatars. Before, how I had them loading into the scene, first of all, loading was way too slow to bother with a bunch of avatars that you weren't going to use. Second of all, you couldn't fit too many more on the screen. And it was just going to get laggy and slow trying to load them all just to even pick an avatar. So this way is kind of cool because we can add avatar packs, have one little picture that says, hey, this is the avatar I want to use. And when you click on them, then all of a sudden you get the latest, greatest of that particular avatar. it'll load right up. And when, by the time you get to the scene, the only thing we're loading is your final avatar. We're not trying to change the avatar. We're not trying to do anything else with the loading. We're not trying to load all of them or anything. Hey, wait a minute. Why didn't it pick that one? Oh, I know why. Because I just... Okay, when I did local, this wasn't an issue. But now that I'm doing this, I need to give it a condition where it can upload it to a different one. Okay, never mind. Never mind, I'll fix that. Let me write it in my notes. Global avatar, can't select the... Can't change out. An editor. Okay, that's a... That one might not be a difficult fix. What happens is when I click on the link, let's go look at it. When I select one of these, oh, I know where it is. It's not going to let me click on that because it's all, this is actually a GUI in the interface, so it is all part of the canvas. So, hey, Waffles. So we're testing and we're finding some bugs, and I'm just making my list so I know what to go back and fix next. So one of the things is in the code. Let's go to the designer code, which is in content, plugins, avatars, scripts, and designer code. Okay, when I save avatar. Oh, it's when I get the avatars lists, which are here, and then I select avatar. That's all fine. It's doing what it's supposed to. Oh, I know where it is. And when I do the right menu, it is choose avatar. Just tracking down this so I can fix it real quick. When I do this, I tell it, there's your avatar ID, and select avatar, gives it a new avatar ID. Oh, I need a... Okay, I repurposed select avatar to do more than one thing. And when I did, basically it is... it's basically telling it to... oh, wait a minute. That should update it here. And that should reload it. Well, let's find out what's going on. I think, therefore I am. No. Let's figure this out real quick. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to show me the avatar ID that it picks. Equals this. And then I want to make sure that we're actually getting else selected false, so that should automatically remove all the other ones from which avatar is selected. Did I ever tell it that I'm selected in the first place? I'll have to think about that one. Selected there. And then it loads the avatar meshes, which is the process that does the whole thing. So if this goes through here, it should have reloaded. Something, I want to know if something's triggering it to reload again anyway. There shouldn't be, because I don't have anything else telling it to do that. Oh, that's fine. Oh, do I need to set that value? Nope. I'm pulling it in, setting it right there. And then I'm going to make sure it's still the same value. Since it's not changing, I want to make sure it is updating to the correct one. We'll just test some values along the way and make sure it's getting it. That's that. And then the last part that's really going to tell it what we have is this object folder. Should get it from the definition, which should be the right one. And that we're going to check right before it loads it so that we know. I just can say the folder. I already know which one it's going to be by the folder. So let's set the folder and see what it's going to do. Okay, send that. And let's do avatar folder and this. Send it to the server. Upload. Okay, 3D Internet. We didn't do anything on that site. And let's test it again. Let's try this again. So what you up to today, Waffles? Hey, I don't see you in the scene yet. See, my camera's moving around, but it's not even pinned to anything until I actually tell it to be part of the avatar. So there's some camera work I have to do next, but that's going to happen. So Waffles, jump into the scene. Okay, so right here. And Bookus, where'd you go? See how many people we can get in the scene as I try to fix it and not break it too. Okay, so when I went here, it's loading the avatar, and that one is Malcolm, like I expected. I want to make sure it's not just loading the same file again. I need it to do the one that I told it to do. So selected is that one. That was the first one. Now I'm going to select avatar. And when I click on something different, I want to see, okay, 99, and it switched right there, loading avatar ID. So selected was this, but loading gave me a different one already. Something did a switch right there, and it brought back up the Malcolm again. Okay, oh, I think I know. Well, that's good, because I would be the one to know, right? Okay, so avatar comes from the avatar's definition there. Oh. So pass in the avatar def. It gives me the right one. And right here, I set it there. Wait a minute, so loading avatar ID, it already was messed up by then. Let me look at that again. It is, okay, so selected was fine, and then it loaded, which was the first time through. Then selected was fine, but loaded went back to the first one. Something lost translation between those 2 points. Let's find out what it is. So from, what's this one? I don't think, I'm going to make sure this one's not loading. I want to just eliminate it from where it's coming from. So let's preload avatar. And then we have these two, which are both right here. And I want to see if it's... Oh, that's why. I can already see. I told it to load up this one, which happens to be my initial one. If I've selected one, I don't need it to ever be that. I could say if this is null. Well, no, that would be the same thing I'm doing. I know what's happening. It's going back to the original right here. So what I need is for it to always to do this one. But if I say select avatar, what's the condition that I need it to be the other one? Because technically I want this one to be what I'm doing. Well, let me back that up a couple steps. I need to reverse the logic here. Hey Eva, how you doing? We're doing some global avatars, so you can jump in and create a global login. Yeah, here, let me give you the site we're playing around on. We're back to our old site, or my test site. But once you create a global avatar, it'll be there. So you can go here and create a global login. So when it has the option for global or local, do the global one. We're trying to get some people in here and play around and set them up and see if we can't get a handful of people in the scene. And it's a chance to play around with some of the settings. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? I'm just fixing this little spot right here. This tells it to load that, but if what I need to do is reverse the logic here. If this is not null and well, I already checked to see if that's not null, so that's not going to be null. I really think all I need is this one for now. I think I've already defeated the condition I used to use that wanted that piece in there. So let me close that one out for now, and let's see if everything else works with that. Okay, so bring the designer code back into the scene, and I'm going to refresh my scene. I want to see if I can switch avatars now. I should be able to. I think it was a preloading kind of condition thing where I had the other one being called if there were no avatars loaded. So, but that would mean, yeah, okay. I think it was like when I tell it I want to edit my existing avatar opposed to creating one from scratch, and it does that. So I'll have to see. I'll have to make sure that it's doing something. We'll see what happens here. Okay, they'll drop their arms as soon as they finish loading their animations. I'll make that more friendly. Just haven't done it yet, so we'll get there. But I think there's something in it because they're making sure both of them load before they both drop their arms at the same time. So that's kind of strange to me. It should be finishing when they finish. It's an asynchronous piece, so I don't get it. I'll figure that one out. Put some markers in the code and see when it's happening. But yeah, so now if I bring this open and it's loading that one like I expected. And okay, there's my avatar. He is not with his colors. I think I cleared him when I tried to select the avatar last time. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, he didn't load the colors because I didn't use that avatar to load it. That's what's happening. That's the difference. See, now I can switch him, and he will load the other avatar. Yep, it is loading the other one. So that Okay, I need to fix a different condition here. He didn't load because I didn't use this line right here, but I think when I tell it to select avatar, find in files. When I tell it to select the avatar, I think I need to tell it in a different place so that I can. So there's the function, and where am I calling it from? Load avatar isn't calling it over there. No, it shouldn't be. It should be there. Okay, so we have select avatar here and here. Oh, that brings over the avatar ID. Oh, I know the condition. Equals the avatar ID, then we know we grab that one. If, let me think here, if this, oops, avatar def, dot avatar ID, avatar ID is not undefined. I'll make sure we have one first. Then our z loaded loaded avatar ID equals blank, and if it's not undefined, then I'm going to do the loaded avatar ID. Oops, missed it by one. This equals this value, just so I've got it, because I need to check for undefined before I test it with something else. Okay, so now if I have that value, here, what I can do is if the avatar ID equals the avatar ID, that means I didn't change the avatar, and basically I need to load this version. So if it means it's the same one that I originally loaded and it's already in my setup, then basically I will reload it knowing that I'm going to edit it. That should get my colors back in place and my animations already chose. Else, I'll do this, which means, see, I kind of had the same thing. I had the right idea there when I wrote it the first time. But what I needed to do was I needed to know that if I selected this ID, I need to know if it was already loaded on my avatar. If it was, then basically use that definition that I already had loaded. So that just means that this definition was already in place. Okay, now, once I've done that, let's upload that. Little logic fix there. And let's see what happens. Wow, we're missing one of the images for that. I'll have to double check because he's missing an image. Okay, let's see what we have here. I know. Camera's moving around, but I'm really not walking yet. There it is. Now it pops back in right where I started. I have my other character right there. Loading the animations and... Okay, there we are. Both have their idle poses. Everything's working. Now let's see. If I edit my avatar, he should come in with a blue shirt. So we'll see if that part works first. Okay, he came in with his blue shirt. Now if I select avatar, I've got to make sure that I can still switch him to somebody else. Let's try this guy. Yep, it looks like it's going because it's telling us already which one it's loading. Whoa! He's got some bright white colors. Let's see if the colors fix when I select him. Okay. Oh, it went white to white to white or something. For some reason with him, it doesn't like when you... So that's the surface. How about the joints? There we go. Okay, so we can color him still. Select the avatar. Let's go to... Let's go to Remy. I just want to make sure we can still select him. Just going through testing some stuff, fixing some things. How'd it work, Eva? Did you get in here? Did you create a global account? Okay, and I think there's one more piece that I need to add in here that's just on my mind when I look at the different things. Okay, so I pick him, and then I can go on to colors, and I can choose what I want to change, like his shirt, and I can pick any color I want it to be. Pick his pants, go to any color I want it to be. Okay, we got shoes. Whatever color, there we go. So we can do anything, including the hair. Let's see if I can click on the hair. There we go. You can also click them over here. So let's put some color into his hair. Okay, animations. Okay, we already talked about that a minute ago. Besides select avatar, the other one that we can do now is, of course, I can change the name up here. Whatever you want to type. See, I have it updating the scene. It goes anonymous if you go blank. It doesn't totally understand different characters. It kind of ignores them, I think, so just so you know. And you can do just a local 3D webs, site if you want. You can, but setting it to global will save it locally where you created it, only on that server, and then it creates it globally also. So just so you know, there is a backup on the local server where you first created it. If you ever lose your global avatar or something weird like that happens. Okay, and when we get it all set the way we want it to be, we click Save and Continue, and let's see if everything updates the way I hope it does, and see if we get the pink-haired, green-shirted Remy into the scene. See how this goes. See the camera work? I've got to do some work with cameras, because right now you're in the center of the scene, which is not the starting point of the scene. So there's some stuff like that I got to do. Okay, the good news is it works on my screen, and it's working on the other screen that it loaded, telling it that it's, that it is that color and everything else over there. So that's a good sign. Okay, so there's some other things I got to do. Like if you change your character and it doesn't have to reload. Let's say you just switch some colors. I want it to switch colors immediately and not have to reload your avatar. So there's some simple things like that I'm going to do to speed things up. Because the real time is the amount of time it takes to download and reload the avatar into the scene. If I can avoid doing that at any time that it doesn't need to be, that'll definitely help. But in the meantime, it does look like we can change our avatars and change our colors. Yeah, so that part's working pretty good. Okay, so that's kind of what I was aiming for today, was playing around with that and seeing what we had to do. Okay, so what did we find? So far, we found can't change avatar and editor. Okay, now we can. That one's fixed. Limp backwards is missing. Now, let me go see. Limp backwards. Let's find out what's going on with that one. Let me start with... I guess I got to check on the server. I think... How am I going to do this one? Just trying to think of where I have it and if we can take a look at that and see if we can fix that item. Let's see. This uploads, content, system, animations, movement. Limp walk, limp backwards. No, I don't have it in that folder. Let me see if I can find it. Just trying to locate the files where I actually worked on it to create the item in the first place. That's going to be wherever I have it here. Let's see. Blender. Avatars. How about backwards? Got backward run. Backward. Jump, other animations. Walk back, okay, fine. Limp back Blender file. Now, I seem to have the Blender file, so let's see what happens. Let's see if we can export it again and recreate that file and see what happens. Okay, so when I'm working with the animations, the one thing I have is that, notice you can limp backwards and it's kind of doing that kind of thing. The file works fully here. I've got a square that it's on and I didn't load the skins. That's why the animations actually load fast, is because I create one little box, which, by the way, you have to do these at full scale, so just so you know, there's this little box way down here that is a, see that little cube? That cube right there is our mesh. Now, by taking that and telling it to be parented, let me see if I can show you where here. Armature, and then we have the cube that is parented using weighted movement. What happens is it remembers that it has to do the weighted movement just by having one mesh in there. Then when I swap out the mesh and give it a different skin, it picks up right where it left off, and it knows that each bone is attached to different points on the skin, on the mesh, and it actually works. So that in effect does exactly what we would want it to the whole time. So basically this is the one we're working with. So if I can say save on this and then file export, what I want to export is a Babylon file. By the way, there's a Babylon exporter, so that's how I actually get it to where it needs to go. And I'm going to take this and put it in, well, wait a minute. Make sure I go to the right folder here. This, WalkTheWeb, uploads. I need to know where I'm going so I can make sure I update the right version. And under movement, notice I've got a lot of stuff here, including, I'm just validating, limp walk back. Limp walk back. That's the file we're going to replace. So export to Babylon. Shouldn't take long at all because it's, well, like I said, it's not converting any meshes or anything, just one little square. And then I'm going to validate from there. Let me look at limp walk back. We got the new, wait a minute. Why? Is that not the... Oh, that's the wrong directory, sorry. Just looking. Content. System. Animations. Movement. And limp. Limp walk back. And that is as of today. That's the new file. Okay, so let's see if we can put that in our folder. So if I go to here, system, animations, movement, and go to limp walk back, which is right here. All I need is that one and that one. And we're going to put that into our site content folder. Nope, sorry. Content, not plugins, system, animations, movement. Okay, upload that. And while we're at it, we have the same animation on this site. So I'm going to make sure they're updated in both places in case we're grabbing the global avatar version or the local avatar version. And by the way, you're going to be able to upload your own avatars by the time we're done. And I got to put a lot of checks in place before we can do that. So we're not there yet, but we're working on it. We're working on it. But right now, let me see now if I can do this one without breaking it. Okay, the first thing I need to do is settings. And if I don't clear the browsing data, then it just reloads the same one again. And so I wouldn't get the new version of it. So let's find out now if that fixed the limp walk back. Like I said, when we find the errors, we just nail them down. It's kind of whack-a-mole at this point, but hey, gets the job done, right? Hey, if you're joining us and want to create a global avatar, help yourselves. Go to, now the link is right here. This is my test site, but once you create the global avatar, it'll work on any WalkTheWeb site. That's the intention. As you can see, we're still designing it, so don't beat me up too bad if there's some bugs yet. But if I go to here, we're going to test out this, see if I fix this animation. We'll take our code out of there in a minute too, next time we update that. And once it loads, I need to make these buttons where it changes to the hand when you highlight over them too. It's a little different because it's part of the GUI, so I have to actually tell it each one individually what to do and when. So I'll have to track that down, see if we can do it. Okay, so hey, happy Friday, just cuz. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're playing around with some global avatars, so hop over to the site. Hop over to the site and basically jump over there and create your global login. You may already have a local login on my site or not, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And so yeah, go ahead and create your avatar and we'll all walk around in the scene and check it all out. So I'm just whacking them all, knocking down a couple bugs real quick. Okay, so walk backwards. Okay, and that's the looking back one. Okay, and walk backwards. Let's see if limp backwards. Hey, there we go. We fixed the animation. I can mark that one off the list. And there's a happy walk backwards. That kind of, I like that one actually. Okay, I need to make that button say save when I'm doing it, so maybe that's the next part I'll do. But for now, I think I want to change, that's my walk. How's my run? No, that's fine. Okay. Turn left. Yeah, it's all good. I don't mind the defaults on some of this stuff. Strafe left. Ooh, strafe left isn't working. There it goes. I guess it had to load. Takes a little longer to load some of these, right? And there it goes, strafe right. When you load them into the main scene, all of them are loaded, so it's not a case of that. It's just when, it's basically just when you do it through here that I'm only loading one animation at a time. Besides your, it's been a while since you've had a good waffle. Yeah, waffles, waffles. Every time I see you waffles, I get hungry for breakfast. Time to have breakfast. No. on the clock at the moment. Oh, okay. Observer mode for now. I get this. This feature's live on my site, and I'll be updating it to the sites within the next couple days so that everybody gets this new version of it. I got a couple bugs I'm still working out, but overall, I think we're looking pretty good. As soon as I finish that testing... Oh, the other piece is I still need to make it where you can pick your anonymous avatar real quick and just jump into a scene. So once I get those pieces in place, then I'll drop this out into GitHub with all the latest greatest, and we'll do this as a monthly update. So far I've been pretty good about near the end of the month doing an update every month. So it's good to go. Yeah, this one's actually doing pretty good. So let's see. Yeah. Yeah, so we can make it accounts that are global. The idea is this: once you create a global account, I have it set up so that once you log in globally or even get prompted, you can log in globally from any site, and then you can pick from your list of your global avatars so you don't have to completely recreate a new avatar every time you go somewhere. Now, one of the things I'm doing, I'm still going to be updating on this, is that when you come back into the scene right now, it doesn't know where to go because the avatar or the camera's on the avatar and the avatar's gone, so it goes to the center screen. I'll fix that. I'll give it a place to go when it's not parented to the avatar. I'll make it be the starting point so that you end up on the scene. Hey Eva, welcome back. Yeah, so basically you can create your avatar, you can come in here and then you can walk around with them and stuff, and everybody can customize now. You can put your own names on top the way you want them to be. All kinds of goodies. All kinds of goodies. So, yeah. I know, the fixes spawns too. Yeah, I know. I've got some things I've got planned for that where I'll make it spawn in a certain way. Or if you change your avatar, maybe I'll do one of those digital things over you so that you actually just like beam into the new shape of avatar without completely disappearing. I don't know. Let me work on that. I think I can come up with a way to do that. That would be pretty cool. So we'll get it. I want to make you be able to transform to the new one without completely disappearing off the scene. So if you edit your avatar and change your shirt, you should just all of a sudden see the new color shirt instead of a complete refresh. Change your animations. We shouldn't see a thing until you run your animations. When you change what avatar you are, I want to make it a smooth transition, so I'm not going to completely delete the old one until the new one's already loaded. That'll kind of make it a little bit easier, a little bit of a cleaner change. But yeah, okay, so I just fixed this one thing off of Trello, so let's mark it off the list here. Limp backwards was broken, and I fixed that. Okay. Allow, select anonymous avatar and enter. That one I'm going to work on. Off scene, I won't bore you with that one. On animations, if it's running an animation, oh, that's the one I need to fix. Okay, here's what I need to fix. When I come in here, by the way, this won't be like this when I'm done. You're going to get to the point where I'm going to create a menu that when you click on your own avatar, right now it just says Open HUD in the display. Then basically it'll open up something around you where you can say edit my avatar or play an animation or something. Got the idea from Waffles this morning, so we got some cool stuff we're going to do with the heads up display. But we'll get that going. We'll make some fun stuff of it and see if we can't make it nice and clean, and we'll figure out what we can do. So okay, for now, edit my avatar. This is the part I have to fix, and it's kind of a condition issue. When I come in here and I am editing the animations, and I can't load the animations until it finishes loading the avatar, because the animations are actually loading at the same time as the avatar. Preloads the definitions that there are animations. Yeah. You got Linux also? Yeah, I've been running Linux on the servers. I run Windows on my own desktop, but then I run Linux on the servers. I have a couple Windows servers, but I'm actually retiring them, so moving everything to Linux and going to retire the boxes. So in true form of open source, going to Linux. Okay, what's this one? Cannot read property blank of undefined. Oh, I know where that is. Oh, select animation event. Oh, that was because I didn't have it open yet. Okay, that's not so much of an issue. That was because I clicked on it before it was ready to open. If I do a loading, while it's loading, if I disable the buttons so you can't click them, then it would pretty much take care of that. And then you can only click on them once it loads. That'd probably be a good idea. Okay, so now if I'm clicking on one and I'm editing it, if I'm running it, if I click on edit, what it does is it goes to an edit mode, and then I still got to click it to be able to edit that item. I got to fix that. And then once I'm in this mode, it still says edit, but what I need to do is I need to change the words on that to save. So it's a little bit of a functionality issue, telling it which function to run at what times. A couple conditional statements. First thing is, we already know this piece works, so let's get rid of some of our troubleshooting guides. Kill off those couple, and I think I'm at the bottom page. By the way, anytime I put those little tags in there to test them, what I always do is make them all the way to the left column. Then, if I ever have to, I can search for WTW log, and I will see any of them that line up in the first column that come up down here. I already know where they are. So it's kind of my little troubleshooting thing. Always goes far left side. Everything else is indented properly where it's at. And it's just my little helpful logging thing to check things. But also I can go across a page pretty quick, and I can tell if there's anything that needs to be moved or is part of the checking schemes or something. Keeps my dev stuff out of production, right? Okay, now we have on the right menu, we have animation event. By the way, here's how it works. I'll get back to that one in a second. Okay, so there's two menus. There's the left side menu, and by default, there's certain things that load left menu. I put the first button on there, which is select my avatar, because if you don't do anything else, then you need to select an avatar first. Then everything else is under a conditional statement, and basically it is avatar profile, colors, animations, and save and continue. Those buttons are all on the left side. Then I create load right menu. This active component that I'm putting in here is actually telling it which menu item is clicked. So if it's equal to 0, then this button shows, otherwise all this stuff. But that's the way I can tell conditionally. If active equals 4 means that this is the button that's active right now, then I change the color on the button and I tell it what to do. Then I can reload this menu saying load left menu with a function with active 4. And it will show me what it looks like when that button is active, which changes it to yellow and blue. So, by the way, this stuff, we will change the colors of these buttons and make them some nice graphic things by the time I'm done. But right now they are functional and it tells me which one is selected. So it's kind of clean, kind of nice. I may leave that as an option and then let us put themes for the buttons on and actually have different graphics sets. So like if you have a site that everybody's going to, you could have your own graphic set that works on that site. It's an option, possibility. Okay, so back to the code, and what we have is, then we have the right menu. And the right menu, same thing, we pass that active button through it, and then we decide with the switch case, was it 0? And we're also deciding how tall to make the menus and some things like that. Some have text, some have input boxes. We have buttons, we have labels, we have all kinds of cool stuff. And each one is a condition. So 2 is the colors. So we're dealing with the color picker. Number 3 is our animations. So this is where I'm deciding all the buttons that we have to create for this particular item. The button names are actually this second object in that string right there. So create image with center text button. That's what I'm actually doing. This is the name of the button. This is what it is. I can pull things. You tell it right here. That's the create button. Click on pointer observable. Lets us decide what to do when we click that button. So I tell it which event was clicked and I pass it to a function. So that's the kind of stuff I'm doing. So starting with there, and then by the way, when it adds the control to the menu, we created a grid. This is how many columns it has, and this is how many rows. That's kind of the dimensions of it. And then we have, when we add a button, we do it 0, 0 would be the top left button, 0, 1 would be top row right side, second column, and going down to 2 would be 1, 0 for the second row, first column. You get the idea. Working with the 0-based arrays and everything else. You're used to doing that stuff. Okay, so that takes care of the first button. This one is our edit button. Now what I want to do is, depending on what this condition is, edit animation event value is not blank, then we're in edit mode. So what I want to do is, when you click on edit, I'm telling it to select animation event, which tells it to go in the edit mode, by the way. Let me think this through. I think a good start would be, if we're in edit mode, then the first thing we can do, let me just get the names right, and then we'll know if it's correct all the time. So I'm going to say let z edit equal edit. Z button edit, I should say. And then if edit mode, then I want to change the button name to save. We'll worry about the functionality second. I want to get the button saying the right thing first, just to know that's the right conditions of when the button will show. And then what we can do is we can do a statement based on this down here and tell it what the click point observable is going to be, the function that it's going to run. So get those in place. Let me update that. Let's get back to our app, which is, I don't need the content full. Okay. This one goes here. This one is, let's get that out of our way so I don't, okay, content, plugins, avatars. Make sure I'm on the same site on both servers. Local, and then I go up there. Upload that. Okay, so, yeah, so how many people we got walking around the scene? Anybody join me? Waffles, I know you have an avatar. Calling you out. No. And once you set one, what I do is I set a cookie so that when you come back to the scene, it automatically just loads your avatar. That way you can choose to say, ah, you're here just lurking. Cool. Okay. Of course, you're welcome to watch. Appreciate it always, Eva. Okay, so jumping in the scene. Like I said, I got to do some camera fixing things here. I'll try to get that done before I release the code here, just so that we have that last piece in place. I know there's a couple pieces part of it. Okay, so he loaded there. Let me go into the edit avatar. I just want to check one thing, make sure that we're in the right conditions of when we swap the name. The avatar here. Okay, animations, and when I do this and then click on that, okay, it goes to save. But it didn't load this list, which is the second part I have to do. So I have to make it change what it's doing. So if I switch this, then it knows I'm saving it. Okay, so when it goes to edit mode, I do have to do a couple things here. Okay, that button goes back and forth. I think we're good shape there. If the second part is this right here, I think this function tells me, let me double check that. Should tell me what I'm doing here. I know, Nightbot. I know. I set it up a while back, and I basically just left it running. Haven't messed with it. Morning bot. Yeah, we need a morning bot and an afternoon bot. Yeah, have different personalities. I know. Morning, it's coffee time. Yeah, or morning, it's coffee time. And then maybe an afternoon one. Okay, I'm up and going strong. Evening, Nightbot, kind of like the smooth jazz in the background, right? You know, kind of get the right themes going, right? Okay, so when I jump to here, let's see, 46. What the heck? It's not the right 6. Select animation of it. That's not the one I was doing. Sorry. Okay, finding files. Absolutely, I know. I'm also into ASMR. Huh, not sure what that is. Okay, so we're setting the save button based on if it's in edit mode or not. And what I need to do is figure out, okay, so this one is there, that one's there. What is this select animation event doing? This one is telling it what to put in the buttons. Let's see, this one's creating a list of buttons based on what you picked. One condition does, see this, the rows here, oh, so if the button event, okay, so this is showing categories, then it does this section. Otherwise, this one is all of the pieces. So what I could do, what's the conditions here? Show categories. And we're pulling it right there. If edit mode equals false, or edit mode and you haven't selected an event yet. Then it'll go to edit mode for everything. And that kind of makes sense why I did that. Ooh, that explains the conditions why it's not doing it. So if it's not in edit mode, obviously that's just running the animations. But when you are in edit mode and it hasn't chosen event, why don't I just, I think I can fix that. If you just go to edit mode, we'll just make it walk. The animation event would just be the first one on the list. Everybody who has a walk mode. So if, what I can do, this would actually fix the problem right here. If this and edit mode equals this, then this equals 1 equals, and we'll make it on walk. And now we don't need that condition here because either you're editing and we drop it right into the mode. So show categories and rows. Okay, that stuff's all straight. Now edit mode is the only thing we have to check for, and edit mode and fence. I think I got it. Dinner time. Well, across time zones. Yeah, we are. Be right back, dinner. Yeah, hope Eva doesn't mind. Eva's in a different, yeah, well, I'll let you tell her if you want to say where you're from. But definitely different time zone. I'm in California, so yeah, that's where my time zone is. seems to be kind of middle of the ground. We got New York ahead of us, 3 hours, and then we've got other side of the world ahead of us even farther. I don't know. Guess unless you're in Hawaii, I guess you're still in a time zone ahead of us. Egg rolls sound good. You get my attention. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so by changing that one line, did I achieve what I want to achieve, which is telling it to do the different buttons on the things you click? Then the only thing I have to do is change the button on the top and telling it what to do when you click it. Yeah, something like that. See how close I got. Just here to make everyone hungry, I guess. I know you're talking waffles. Now you got egg rolls. It's all good, though. It's all good. Oh, yeah, I just got reminded. Got homemade banana bread. Ooh, that stuff's good. So how many people, now that we're doing the whole quarantine earth type thing, how many people have had better cooked meals? Now, we're not getting the exercise, so gotta live somehow. I think the better cooked meals are the way of staying. Yeah, lucky you love a banana bread. Yeah, definitely. Oh man, homemade. Oh yeah, my wife sent me to the store. So when I went to the store, the first thing I thought is, okay, I'm gonna pick up some bananas, and I thought it's always that old rule. If there's 3 extra and they start to go bad, she makes banana bread. So I picked up the largest bundle of bananas just so that after we had some, there was no way impossible that we wouldn't have some left over for banana bread. It's my ploy. You need to learn to cook better. Get a lot of takeout, yeah, but not nearly as often as I used to eat at restaurants. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. This thing has really changed the way we all think. That's for sure. Who makes the art for WalkTheWeb? Well, so far I have. I've just been creating things and dropping them into scenes. You know what? I never claimed to be a great artist or anything like that. I've done some paintings and stuff, in real life. But when it comes to graphics and stuff, I'm a hack. I try to do things. I don't think I've ever had a class in my life. I've learned on the job, and just because I've been around computers for so many years. And so I took a few of the online things about Blender, and I basically create what I want, what I imagine in my head, and I throw it in the scenes. But by no means, I think that some of this stuff is going to really go ballistic when we get a good graphics artist who decides, I want to play in this scene and start creating some stuff for you guys. Because the more we do that, the more quality we're going to get. I've been more on the operational side of things. I want to make sure that when you walk up, a door opens because you're in the zone in front of it and it's supposed to open. I spent a lot of time on how they load, which is one of the things I still have to fix for 3D objects. What happens is it's downloading the object and starting to load it asynchronous. So it is not in the same process as what we're moving. But at the instance that it finishes downloading and it drops it into the scene, if the object has too many meshes or too many faces, then it causes a lag right when it jumps into the scene. As soon as it's in there, we're up and going again and we run fine. Notice here's a good example. Let me clear this out of the way for a minute. Okay, see the awning in there, right there. If I walk backwards and I get a certain distance away, it disappears. And as I walk farther closer to it, it appears. That is a smooth transition with a 3D object that isn't too big, and basically it doesn't lag on the screen or anything. Well, it shouldn't lag. We're working on it, yeah, but see, it doesn't lag on the scene, and you're able to walk up on it, and it goes just fine. When they're bigger objects, for example, let's take that building. Okay, I'm going to get in an angle over here where we can see it without affecting too many other things. Okay, so I'm going to walk backwards, and right there the building disappeared. So now as I walk forward and that building appears, no problem. That building doesn't have too many things close together. Now, if I come over here, and I've already figured out what it is. Okay, now I'm going to walk up here, and there's a couple scenes that are much bigger. So as I'm walking, here it comes. Okay, we got a light post. See the lag? Now it loads that building over there, which is a much bigger, more meshes building and stuff. Now, the truth is, we can make that work smooth. What happens is it tries to throw it all into the scene in one frame, which interrupts the frame, slows down, causes a lag, and then throws it back as soon as it's totally in the scene. But what I can do is in the loader itself, when it starts adding things to the scene, I can actually make it where it's where it only loads so many meshes per frame, and it queues them up so that it keeps on adding them per frame, and then it would be a smooth transaction in. But also rendering low poly for far and high poly for close. Yeah, actually we played around with that. Bless you. But the thing is, it does work. We can do low poly. In fact, Babylon even has some functionality where you can tell it to, just because also says bless you. And she says thank you. Okay, so what happens is Babylon already has it where you can actually tell it, let's say you had a sphere, for example, and you wanted it to be use 24 subdivisions, because that's a pretty smooth sphere. When you're far away, you may only need it to be 6. Just 6 or 8 or something, just so that it still takes the shape of a sphere, but you don't have to see it. As you get closer, you would want more detail. That kind of stuff, there's some code that'll let that kind of stuff happen, but I have to control every single object that's created in the scene to make that happen. Now, what I can do is, there are ways, like right now, what I do is this. Let me show you. When I create something, I'm going to get where there's less things in the scene, by the way. Because if I do it with some of these populated areas, you're going to see way too much data, and it makes it harder to see what's what. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, and remember how, see the awning isn't there, and then when I walk up on it right there, it shows up. I can turn the zones on, and notice when I step back a few steps, there's the edge of the zone. You can see it in the scene. When I'm in that invisible box, that's when the awning loads, and when I'm out of it, that's when it unloads. Okay, now, what I've done though is, using that same technology, I can design it so that, let's say you give me a low poly of the same building, but it's like just bare bones, stripped down, maybe some awesome graphics on the side or whatever you want to do. And then what happens is, once you get a certain distance away from it, it switches from the high definition version of itself to the low definition, and basically swaps them out when it transfers from one to the next. So we can assign a low poly version of itself that happens when you leave one of these boxes and go beyond it. And then once you get closer and the object loads that has more detail, then it would switch from the low poly version into the higher poly version. So that kind of stuff we can do. The whole goal behind this is to be able to continuously walk, load things as you go, and unload things smoothly as you leave. That way we can create some really big scenes, really cool details, and not worry about it, because they'll be isolated into small regions. Then when you walk away from it, it unloads, and you can go walk into another area and have some other real high quality stuff going on. So that's kind of that's the concept, and that's what we're actually aiming for doing. So that's the kind of things that we're doing. We'll get there. It's all just, keep on fine tuning it, adding some more functionality to do it, and I keep on doing it. So hey, there's another one of me in here. What happens, I can tell you this already, since I haven't set up the anonymous, when it shows up in my scene, it shows as one of me, because it doesn't know what to do with somebody that clicked on be anonymous in the scene. So that's why I'm seeing it show up that way. It's not fully loaded. I broke it on purpose to finish coding it. But if you do the global logon or even the local login or server-wide, so you can have an avatar that you create that only works when you're on that server. Then you can have global avatars that work anytime you're on any server for WalkTheWeb. that's, going to make it where you can have your custom person ready to go and then just jump into a scene and walk around in it with your custom character. So cool stuff. My next thing will be that you can download different characters and you can actually bring them into Blender and morph them yourself, create what you want, do what you want to do with it, and then bring them back into the scene as your own custom character. So that's where we're heading. That's definitely where we're heading. Okay, so this worked. We fixed that graphic. I'll close that out of there. And that's kind of needs to be done on a handful of graphics as we find them. I was just trying to continue as anonymous, but can't seem to get it in. Yeah, see, that's what's happening. Is the anonymous is actually, I haven't finished coding it. What you're going to see when you click anonymous is you're going to get a scroll window of whatever on that server was defined as anonymous. That way somebody can create characters and say, these are my anonymous characters if you're in my scene. It may be just one choice. Here's your character if you're anonymous. It may be a choice. I'm going to start with the robotic woman and man. You can pick which one you want to be. But I set it up in a way that anybody can pick which one they want to be. And then we have the default avatars that it comes with. But now that they're table driven, you can add as many as you want onto your site. You can create custom avatars, throw them in there, and they'll be available on your site when people go there. So kind of cool stuff. Very cool stuff that we're heading towards. But see, this right here, it knows that you tried to add into one of the areas where anonymous was. And so basically mine created it into that place until it gets created. It just jumped mine in there for now. It's probably because it's the only other defined avatar in the scene besides that guy. It's probably the last one defined or something. I don't know. Haven't figured out why it pulls that. But when I'm done, it won't be the case. Okay, so let's go in here and test this piece out. Edit my avatar. I like knocking things off the list. Wait, so does the anonymous login not currently work? Correct. I haven't finished coding it yet. Yeah, it doesn't actually give you an avatar, so it's actually broken. But I'll have that. I'll have that within a day. I'll have that up next time I broadcast. I just thought was one before where you chose a robot avatar. Yeah, I had that in place, but because I did this whole new version, what I did was I took the entire code that lets you customize your avatar out of the program and made it a separate interface that just comes up in front of the other scene. That way, I needed to make it expandable. The other way, I was putting all the avatars in the scene. It took too long to download. When you clicked on one, there's a bunch of little issues with it. And so now, because it's database driven, you can add as many avatars as you want. You can scroll past them. But see, what it is this. All I have to do is have a little image here. We throw them on the buttons, and now you can have as many as you want in here. You can sit here and work on your avatar, spin around the whole thing. But it definitely is a cool way to be able to check out your avatar, select which one you want. Yeah. Well, that thing is like attached to my... Okay. There we go. That is funny. It's attached to my button. That's the interface. I want to make control over that. How funny. It wants me to set it where it wants me to set it, but it won't leave me. Okay, we'll go to something else. Nope. Oh, something froze. Okay, well that's part of the interface, so we'll keep on working on it. Wait, so you molded all of those human avatars too? No, I didn't. I can show you where I got them. There's a site called Mixamo, and it's actually available for anybody. So this is where you can pull up different things modeled, this site here, it's free. You can create a login, and once you do, this is where I got a bunch of the animations also. Okay, terms of use updated. Anybody actually read those things? Basically, they give you characters and different avatars and stuff, and you can actually use any of these that have the same skeleton as the ones we chose. Now, I believe most of these all work just by doing it. The reason I say same skeleton is because if you stick with the same skeleton, then all the animations work and you don't have to design every single animation for every movement you want to do. If you want to go that route and you're an animator, cool. I don't have a problem with you doing it. But just remember, all the common ones require a certain skeleton design and the way it's parented and everything for it to be able to work in the animations. So, with that said though, we can obviously, now that I've put it in a database, we can start loading additional avatars and we can label them under different categories. So if you say, I've got a site and I'm only allowing humans, we can show you the humans to choose from. If you say, hey, I got one that I want fantasy characters or whatever, you can come in here and grab whatever you want. So, well, actually, you don't even have to do that. We'll load a bunch of them in there. But as you can see, there's quite a few options of the different avatars. We haven't tested them all in the system. Some were put up here by different people because you can upload a character and contribute. And so the thing about it is this particular site, I've already read their facts and everything else, and basically anybody can use it for any purpose, including commercial, whatever. It's like open source from Adobe of all things. So it's kind of cool. I've actually seen them on TV commercials now, a couple of these characters. Every once in a while I'll see one and go, I know where they got that. What was it? I think there was, if I can remember which one it was. Well, I've seen a couple of them. So it's just kind of cool. Yeah, but they have quite a few of them on here. And now that we have it in a database and I don't have to try to populate them all on your screen to choose from them, we'll be able to put a bunch of them in there. Now, once you pick an avatar, let's say I pick, let's pick this guy just to do it. Okay, I got a knight. Then you can go on to animations and you can test out and try different animations. You can even search for things. There's combat, adventure, sports, dance, fantasy, superhero, and there's some test run things. But once you get these, you can totally... And the one thing we do is we run in place. No matter what it is, we run in place because we're actually controlling the movement on our side. So they need to be animations that use in place. I'm going to set it up where you're going to be able to upload these and even assign keys to make it do different things. So if you have certain things you want to be able to do, you're going to be able to set them. You can also set them for like how fast they move or how slow, some character arm spacing. So there's some options with some of these. Some are more obvious than others. Casting spells. There's some cool stuff. These are fantasy. Let's see. Let's pick a different category. Adventure. There's all kinds of zombie characters, by the way. Yeah, we have where you can climb across the wire. And all you have to do is, like I said, just use in place for the animations. We'll make it move. There's some sitting poses and doing different things. How funny. So yeah, there's all kinds of cool things in here. And you can also search and pick just certain things. So like when I want sit, idle, I can have one that says like this. Some have more options than others when you do it. So we're going to be adding some things in there where you can, choose what you want to do. Hey, get comfy, whatever. And you're going to be able to choose how your avatar moves, how they sit, and everything. We'll get to that point. We're not there yet, but we'll get to that point. And I've already written the program that blends between the animations so that it will smoothly transfer from one to the next animation. So that's already built in there. I have an easing, what they call an easing formula or whatever, I don't know, easing function, that's what it is. We're using an exponential easing function. So it does go from one to the next without any trouble. And yeah, but see, each one of these, there's different things. You can adjust, how it sits, how high it sits, whatever it is. I don't know, there's all kinds of things. How much energy. Yeah, sit, boom. Okay, well, that's enough play on that section, but you get the idea. So that's where I pulled the avatars so far. I want to get to some custom ones and design them, but of course I didn't want the program to have to wait. I needed to be able to make it real flexible so people can throw things in here and use them. The cool part is every one of those have the, they're designed to have the same skeleton. Not all do, so there's a couple of them that I found that didn't work for me so far, but we'll put a bunch more in here so that you get the choices when you choose your avatar. And we'll get it going. So, okay. Now, the one thing I want to check is my animations. I want to see if those buttons lined up the way I expected them to. Okay, so there's a couple conditions here. First one is if I'm walking and then I click edit, okay, it does tell me which one I have and I can switch it. Then I click save and it's there. Good, okay, that's good so far. Now if I just click edit, nope, see it went blank. That should have automatically went to walk. I'll have to check that. There's some other setting I'm missing. Okay, and then if I... crack myself up. And we got the happy walk. And when I click save, it jumps back to here, which is good. Then I can check any one of these, and I can check what I have. Happy walk backwards, left turn, right turn. Yeah, we're good. Run backwards, run forward. It's got a good run. Okay, not to worry about the others. If I just click edit, see, that's where I need to fix, and then I'm good to go. So let's find out where that's happening. You saw that Las Vegas Elvis? Yeah. I know. That one looked funny. Oh, there was another one I really wanted to do. Let me just reopen close tab. There was another one that I really wanted to do. On the stage playing guitar, there's a certain guy. Oh, gotta get rid of sit. There we go. Okay, and it is... I wanted this guy, the boss. But for some reason, that one didn't load right. Doesn't mean we can't figure it out. It just means so far it didn't work right. But I think that guy playing an old blues guitar would have looked pretty good. So I'll take another look at that at some point and see if we can't get it working. Yeah. Okay, so last thing I was going to fix here. Oh, in fact, watch this. This is animations, guitar, and here we go. This is the true effect. There we go. Now we got him playing some guitar. And you can even change the guitar position. There we go. And there's a style. Let's see what styles we got. Okay. Kind of liked his really bumping it. There we go. Bumping it like a bass. Bass guitar. We got the stance and everything else. Oh, by the way, you can rotate him too. Oh, his arm space is wrong. So then you can adjust the arm space. Get the arm out front. There we go. Yeah, now he's ready to hold a guitar. See, that's the cool stuff. That's the fun stuff. We're going to get some of these in here, and you're going to be able to upload your own custom Mac style. Yeah, you got it. See? That one's awesome too. See? This would be cool. Now, can you imagine if you come in here and you say, okay, I got this character, and you already loaded them, and then you go, okay, I want to download. You don't have to take the skin, and you do no keyframe reduction. 30 frames per second is fine, and you download the file. I've got like less than 5 minutes of steps in Blender, and then you can upload it to our site and it works. That's the cool part. So you would be able to totally take something that you saw in here and crank it up there and just load it up to the site and then use it with your character. And it doesn't mean it's available for everybody else's character. It's just your thing that you chose. So we got air guitar dude here. And there's all kinds of dance moves. There's all kinds of stuff in here. So yeah, just letting you know, that stuff is there. Okay, so the one I need to do is if it doesn't have anything selected and I click on it, I need to automatically tell it to use walk and do it. Okay, so let's find out why that didn't catch that piece. Select animation event. Oh, because I set it right there. And I did this check. If it's edit mode, what did I do? If edit mode, then wait a minute. That isn't this. Oh, that's why. This event needs to be set. Okay, what I'll do is I will put this up here, and then I can set the event equal to on walk, and then just put that here, and now it'll catch the rest of those places, and I think that will do what it should have done in the first place, catch them all and make it all work. So we'll find out. Put that there, update the page, and let's find out. Yeah, yes, we use Trello for WalkTheWeb planning. I find it really good too. Yeah, I really like it. It's organized. It makes it great to do it. What I love is I can come in here and, allow select and on. Okay, I haven't fixed that yet. On animations, if running an animation, edit should switch directly to that step. When I finish it, I checkbox it off, and I can drag them up here and stuff, and I still see the couple I have left to do. There's been a couple times where I click copy, which will duplicate this whole board and drop it in there again, and then I can take off the remainder and then make that a separate card so that it's like, okay, I'm releasing all these items, but there's a couple I'm going to make enhancements afterwards, and I can actually separate it in two. And what we did was recently completed. We got some work in progress. We have a to-do list of different things that we've thought of. We have brainstorming. We have some bug fixes we're working on. Just all kinds of stuff like that, but it makes it really nice to work on the project. I just find it really convenient. So, okay, so now I got a little bit of a happy walk, and he's got the happy walk backwards. So he's running up all the animations that we set. No problem there. And if I come in here, edit my avatar, want to make sure that it's going to do what I want it to. See, this is another case where preloading of the avatar that you currently have selected would have made this load a lot faster. So I'll have to play around with that and just see if it can do it for us. Resources. It's all about balancing resources everywhere we go, right? Okay, so avatar animations. If I click that, yes, default male, and it is the walk. Ooh, it doesn't say walk up here. I probably should tell it. Ooh, because that button is... No, it isn't created when I did that because that's there. Okay, this one should say walk when I do that. Because see, watch, if I pick walk and then I say edit, no, it doesn't say it. Oh, okay. I can fix that though. If I click, yeah. Oh, select to edit. Now, see, that needs a change. Select to start and stop. And then instead of select to edit, I'm skipping that step now. If it's this, I need it to say, instead of that, I want it to say, let's see. Let's find out where it says select to edit. It's the fastest way to find it. Okay, select to edit, select to save. Oh, okay. If it's blank, then make it walk. Yeah, because this is only edit mode. Wait a minute. Okay, so this is blank here. I don't need it to be, is not blank. Then it runs this. I know what I need to do. If edit mode here, then I need, and this and this equals blank, then let's go ahead and set it. This equals on walk. There's a friendly name walk, but that's basically what it is. Then we tell it to event name. It will automatically come up there. That'll come up correct. Else, since that's already forcing that, we're not going to have a condition when this is blank because we just told it to never be blank. So we don't need this at all. If edit mode, I can leave, I guess that. Select to start and stop or select to save. Technically, this should be this right here, but I don't want to do this function twice. So we are going to take that function, move it here. It would have to be, no, that's blank. Let's do it here. Wait a minute, am I ruining the ability to show the whole list? Oh no, I'm not. If it's in edit mode. Yeah, this one needs to be in if it's, oh, this is if it's edit mode and blank. Confusing myself here. And this, do I have Z animation name already used anywhere near here? Okay, we're good. And then animation name, well, actually we'll make it walk. If animation name, then we put that there. And we can also use that same name if it's here. So we don't need to click save, select to save. We can, actually we can put it there, but yeah, makes sense. Let's see how we did. Make sure I didn't break the others 3 to fix that one, right? And reset the page. I think we're almost there. We're really close. Okay. Well, we keep knocking things off the list. And by the way, if you guys know any great graphics artists that want to work on the site, want to do some 3D objects, you know, I'll even offer, I've got some things I can offer. I can offer to pay later. Well, nobody likes that. But I can offer stock options depending where you live. It has to be a legal, you know, it has to be legal for it to happen and stuff. But I am willing to do work out a deal. We would discuss it beforehand, so don't just start working on things and then saying, I owe you stock. No. But we can discuss some things like that. But if somebody's interested in doing something like that, let me know. We're always keeping the door open for people that want to code with us. You guys on the coder side, that same deal goes. It doesn't have to be graphics. If you code with us and make a dent in things and really help us out a lot, I'll offer you some stock. I want to, you know, keep you involved and make it worth your while. And, you know, nobody's time is that should get them. That's the edit version. That's the watch version. Okay, I know when I combine these into two sets where I'm going between editing and animating, I use two different variables. It's not too bad. I could have just one variable on and off for the editing or not. I may simplify that later on, but for now, if I get it working, I'll be happy. There's always simplifying code, right? You go through, look at what it does, and then you try to make it work the same way. When you finally figure out what the end results are going to be, then you come back, you look at your code, and you go, ooh, if I do it this way, I got one step instead of 35 lines of code, right? Over the past week, I have probably deleted a few hundred lines of code because I made the multiplayer use the same loading process that the other side did to put your avatar in the scene. They had gone different directions early on because of some different movements and different things I was doing, but the more I work with them, the more I've got them to work as the same function, just with very subtle differences, and there's an easy way to test when I need to do those differences. So as long as that keeps on working, then I'm in good. But now, see, when I run this part of the scene, I don't even load all that stuff to edit my avatar, so I'm actually making the scene have less resources needed to run somebody just viewing and using the site. So that's kind of the goal behind doing that part. And here we go. By the way, the scene still does move and still does work behind this, even though we're walking in the scene in front of it. Okay, so I need to make my avatar, I need to make my mouse look like it's doing a hover over on those items. It doesn't seem to be treating it that way for anything. So, okay, now if I say I'm running, and I edit that, now I'm editing the run. Yay! Okay, that's good. If I save that, we're back to here. If I strafe left, it's going to load it. And there it goes. Then we edit. Okay. And there's only one. It's default. You can turn it on or off if you want. I don't know, it takes a while to load. Okay, yeah, there he goes with the strafe left. Okay, and then turn it off. Okay, so I let you select which one it is. You got your default mail, it's already here. Then I say, okay, let's see Happy Walk. Yay! Since we made it work, we're going to switch to Happy Walk. And notice when I test it, it even updates the name in here. So it knows we got a Happy Walk ready to go. Save and continue, and... dun dun dun! Yay! Thank you, Eva. 3 yay. It's all good. It's all good. Yay, yay, yay. Got it. Cool. Meow 3. I catch you. I catch you. I'm catching up. Sorry. Okay, so we loaded this in here, and basically, there we are. Avatar's in here. We got the Happy Walk going because we got it all working. I've got a nice run going, and we're going to have some games in here. We're going to have some fun running around with the games playing and stuff and telling it to do all kinds of cool stuff. But right now, we got some multiplayer. Notice we got another person walking around there. That is my other character. So as I make him move and walk and stuff, he's got some cool stuff too. The turning on that animation, I got to work on some of those. But it does work. So, and notice you can color the skin and anything you want in any of these characters any way you feel like doing. You want to change your shirt, click on it and change your shirt. But yes, we have global avatars, so welcome to it and enjoy that. I want to thank everybody for watching, following, and everything else that's going on today. I appreciate it. And man, looks like we picked up a couple person following today. I apologize for not catching that sooner. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. And I'll be back on here, and we're going to be playing some games because we've designed this so that when you walk up on stuff, you can load a game or load a 3D shopping or whatever. We're building 3D internet cities. We're going to have some real cool fun with it. But right now, we have global avatars. That was the next major step in here. So now when you create your avatar, you're going to be able to go to any WalkTheWeb scene anywhere in the world and load it right up and use your avatar. So as we build things, as we load stuff, basically that's what we're going to do. You're going to be able to walk up, play some games. Yeah, come on, there it is. There it is. And let's see. Come on. Is he loading? There's another guy in there. I'm just waiting for him to load. Do. And so we have all this cool stuff we're doing. We keep on loading things, keep on trying things, and seeing what we can do. So I want to thank everybody for watching today. I appreciate it. And we're gonna keep on having fun and keep on building stuff that everybody can play around with and try and you know, test out and have some fun. So keep coming back and we'll keep adding to it. We're on our way. There he is. Here's the guy. Okay, so have a good one, and I appreciate you following and watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. And by the way, when I'm not here, you can find me on the link below for Discord. So find me all the times that I'm not here, anytime you want to connect. Ask me questions. You can download the source code from GitHub. Links down below. Enjoy, and I will have the latest stuff that I'm doing into GitHub probably within the next couple days. So keep that in mind. We'll be doing a GitHub update coming real soon with all this latest. Got a couple little bugs I'm looking at, but once they're done, we're going to knock that all out of the park. So thank you very much. Have a great day.